Hello everyone, and welcome to today's little live stream where, for today's project, I had an idea. I want to go and have some text on screen that I will go and make cubes that subdivide into the shape of that text. So I want to try that out, and let's see how that goes. So first of all, let me make the text. In this case, it'll be just, wow, very descriptive right there. But I want it to be so that the closer that a cube is to this curve, it'll start subdividing, and then it'll subdivide more and more and more and more until it gets to a kind of base resolution, if that makes sense. So now that we have this, let's make this in the center. And now let's add in our geometry nodes object that I'll put in like the simulation loop and all of that so that it dynamically subdivides to be in the shape of that. So let's see if I can make that work in not too many nodes. So let me add in these. So I have to play this very carefully, because if I just throw in a subdivision surface node here, let's see, subdivide mesh, I'm actually going to put in, before I play this, a little safeguard, so that if the domain size is greater than, let's say, 100,000 or 200,000 vertices, then it will auto-delete. Let's make that 250. Yeah, 250,000 vertices, it will auto-delete itself, just so that it does not crash my computer. Let's see if this does it. So with this setup, it'll subdivide every single frame, and it'll keep going, getting way too much geometry, and then the safeguard has to kick in. So let me go and label that. Let's put that in a frame, and this is poly or vert count safeguard. Guard. There we go. That's just so that my computer literally does not crash with that. So, okay. I want to, let's see, how do we make this correct? I need to figure out how to make, I need to get the distance to the curves here. So actually, let's bring in our text here. And it's labeled plain, but let me redo this. This will be text curves. Yeah, text curves. So we have that in here. I'm going to convert it to a mesh. So curve to mesh, just so that I have these as mesh lines that I can get the proximity to. So let's do that. Proximity. So I need to say, okay, so if the distance to the edge is too great, then subdivide the geometry. So I need to figure out how to do that. So I think first of all, we already have the subdivision node there. I just need to make it so that the ones that applies to are separated from the main picture, if that makes sense. So let me go and use a separate geometry node, just like this. Let's set it to face, so that the distance is greater than a certain amount. It'll keep subdividing. Or wait. Let's try this version. We have the safeguard in, so I can afford to make a few mistakes here and there, and it will, my computer will survive. So let's do a join, join geometry node. Let's take a look at this. No, nothing happens. Okay. So the distance is greater. Oh, what's happening there? Should be fine. Distance is greater than there, and we can see nothing's happening. Let's make this less than 0.1. So still, nothing happens. I need to see what the problem is. So we have the proximity to the edges, which should be doing stuff. Here, let's do just a little test at the moment. Let's make it so that if it's close enough, it'll offset the position. So let's do that. Let's have this just be the selection. Then it'll just move it up. So here we can see, everything is happening all at once. Why is that? What is this error? Oh, these are instances. That's why. Let's do a realize instances. That's a result of our text object that we spawned in with geometry nodes, being that. I didn't want the text to be meshed, which is why I'm not using a regular text object. But those output instances. So you need to realize the instances, then change the curves to meshes. Now that should work. So if we do this now, okay, we can see that's happening. So let's make this a greater than. We should see, well, let's also take that out. Maybe it needs just a subdivision or two to start out. Okay, we can see it's kind of doing what it should. We can see that something's occurring. But it's doing the opposite of what I want. So let me make that a less than node. Like, how do we make it? How did I... How do we make it so that it looks... Do I, like, average the proximities to all of this? Let's see. Or what if it'll just subdivide... Okay, so that's kind of doing it. It just needed enough geometry to start out, it seems. We're getting the kind of dynamic, optimized border. So let me subdivide this again just to see. Yeah, we can see that's happening. Let's make this like 0.01. No, but that is not working. This is a very finicky thing. It either works or it does not. Like, there we go. We can see that that part is working, which is good. Maybe I need to make it according to the face area. Okay, let's do this. Face area. And divide it by something. Oh wait, did that... Oh, that looks like it actually worked. Divide by 1, let's see what that does. Divide by 0.25. I am surprised, but it seems to actually work, so I will not complain about it. Let's make that 10, or maybe that needs to be to the power of 2. There we go. Now that's working how I wanted. But let's set this to the power of 2 just to be sure. No, okay, that doesn't work. So I need to multiply it. So that does work. Yeah, that's good. And then I just multiply even more if it does not comply enough. Huh. Intriguing. Now let's reset the plane to be just one subdivision just to see if it works. It does? Wow! That's why I put that in there at the beginning. Because now we have this kind of dynamic looking, well, let's make sure that the subdivisions are square to start out. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. Though I do want it to be... Do I need to square root? Well, let's try different math operations and see. Yep, there we go. Square root. That's the one where it'll just keep going. Yeah, that's the best option. Okay, so that's the mathematical right way, I would guess. I should also put a little thing in saying that if it gets too small, then keep it from splitting, but I think this is fine. Alright, so let me put this into a frame. Whoops, let's not hide it. Let's just put into a frame. Text to mesh. Text curves to mesh. Curves to mesh. And then this is the if close, then subdivide. Divide. There we go. So those simple nodes equal that effect. So now, one thing that I want to do as a post effect. So also, let me put this over to here. This is the subdivide selected. There we go. And there we have it. So just those nodes equal this effect, which I'm very surprised. That's that small, but it works. So now for the output, I just want to use an extrude mesh node. Instead of doing something like that, I want this to be dependent on the face area. So let me just bring this over to here. I'm not sure if I want the square root node, because I kind of forget what it does, but actually that does work fairly well. So let me also, I want to turn on cavity so that we can see everything a lot easier. And that looks very fractal. I do like that. Okay. So now what do we do next? I kind of like how it's like a mountain range where once it gets closer to the middle, it gets more detailed. But it's not entirely necessary. Let me try a power node to see, whoops. Okay. So square root seems to give us the most linear interpolation of all of this. But I do want to try this and see what is going on. Okay, no, that seems accurate. Yep, seems good. The closer it gets, the more subdivided it will become. But I do need to put in that little, safeguard, another safeguard. So square root, face area, that's that part. So I need to say if the square root is less than a certain amount, or no. If it's greater than, it'll keep going, but if it's less than, let's say 0.001, it'll stop subdividing. Let's make this an AND node, which means that both this and this have to be true for this output to be accurate. Okay. But it seems like that's too low, so let me bring that down. Let's do a test to make sure it does work. Okay, yep, that does work. So this puts a limiter so that the voxel size, or the, the particle size, cannot be less than that. And I did just realize that these are just faces, not easily editable instances, which is a problem. But in this case, I think it's alright. In this case. Yeah. Because in the past, I've made methods where all these cubes would be instances so that I can change them to be like, oh, let's make it a rounded cube or something like that, and it would be super cheap on the machine, which maybe I'll do next. But for the time being, this is just with pure geometry. Okay. Here we go. Maybe I'll make that method next. That would be a good idea. Alright. Oh, let me try. I want to invert this using a map range node to see what that would look like. So let me do that. Not quite as impressive seeing it like that. Let's flip that around. So this version does look better, where it's just the face area just being itself. Okay, so this is good. I like it. So let me go and move this into a collection, then I'll move on to the instance version. Okay. Maybe I should have had the Blender logo as the object, but this is fine. Okay, so that's one. So I want to copy our text object and bring it into a new collection. So this will be mesh version. And this other one, let me hide this for the time being. Let me switch this up to another piece of text. And this will be, what would a very easy, like a 3-letter word be? Blend. I know that's not 3 letters, but that's the only thing that came to my mind. Okay. So now with this, let me make a new geometry node that I will use for like the simulations and all that. And now I need to think about how do I make instances that spawn in, and if they're too far away, keep subdividing them until they get really, really close. So let's try to solve that. So let me think about this. So simulation output, simulation input. Let's bring that back into the thing. Let's make sure that the original plane has nothing to do with this. I just want one singular point. So let's input, or do we want... Actually, no. Let's start out with the original plane for the input to the simulation. So as we should see, yep, that works. Just so that when it does subdivide, I have 4 points to kind of pull from to see if some things are working or not working. Let me bring this into here. So now let's bring in our text curves, just like this. And let me go and realize the instances again. So realize, because that's a geometry node's text object, we need to realize the instances, then curve to mesh, so that I can then get the proximity once again. So proximity. There we go, and we want the distance from the edges. So now that we have this, I need to make it so that these points here on the plane, let me delete the edges and faces so that we're left with only the dots here. So I want to instance cubes on here. So let me go and do that just so that we can visualize what's going on. So let's do an instance on points node. I want this to be a cube, so mesh, or wait. Yeah, mesh primitives. Sorry, had a bit of a brain lag spike, but here we are. So this, I want the, let's see, should I do points radius on this? Yes, let's have, or no, let's have a set attribute that I can change later on. So let's store a named attribute just to start to label this as the start size of our instances. So this will be size, and I will have this be 1. So let's feed that size attribute. Let's make this, wait, where is that? There we go. So I'll plug that into the size, but maybe 2 meters would be better because, actually, let's do this instead. Oh wait, I can't subdivide the plane. That's unfortunate. Oh well, I'll just set the size to 2 beforehand. So I need to make it so that 1, these cubes subdivide. I'm going to make this a 2D version instead of a 3D version. But it'll make new points, 4 new points here, in each scale on those 4 points that spawn in are half of the size of the original. Yes, I think that works. So here I would separate the geometry similar to how I had the face subdivision version. So in this case, if the distance is greater than the size, I believe. I'm thinking just a little bit about this to see if it works. So here, let's take a look and see what happens in this case. So anything that's further away than the distance will go away. Okay, I think that works. So when that happens, whenever something goes away, I want to instance a grid of 4 points. So instance on points, let's have this be a mesh primitive grid. Where's this grid? There we go. And I want this to be just 2 meters, like this. I want it to be 0.5, so that will turn a 1 meter cube into 4 points inside that cube, which works. That's good. The input scale will be the size. And then, after that, I will realize the instances to make them actual geometry that we can see with our eyes and can actually contribute to the simulation. Let me move this all back. This is becoming a little bit much, so let me go and put these into frames. There we go. So that's our, let's see, curve to edges. Have this be proximity. Proximity to subdivide. There we go. So now that we have those 4 points, another thing that I need to do now that that's realized is I need to take the previous size. Let's bring that into the scene. So size. I need to divide that by 2 and then reapply it so that it essentially subdivided the instances. Even though the instances happen after the simulation, I'm just saying that for the demonstration. So now, geometry, I want to join the new geometry that we made to the old stuff. Let's move this up, put it in a frame, just so that we can see what's going on a bit better. So, let's see if that works. Let's just plug this into the output. No instancing at the endpoint. So now we should see if it would actually work. Nothing happens, which means that this might need to be a less... Okay, there we go. It works. A little too well. Oh, but that is a very cool effect. Huh. Well, I guess it'll work anyway. Once I... Yeah, I do like how the edges form. That's really cool. Actually, why would the edges do that? Oh, because, yeah, it separates the points. Okay, that makes sense. So now if we look at the instances, they work just fine. Even though, as we can see, they start to get just a little bit microscopic as they get smaller. That's because, one, I didn't put the limiter in, like I had before. So this will be... make, quote-unquote, subdivided points... Ooh. Let's keep that in the quotes. So points with half size. There we go. So that works. And I need to just... I need to put the size limiter into here. So, yeah, that'll be pretty simple. The size is greater than... Whoop, nope. Greater than... Let's have this be 0.1. Then it'll keep going with the AND node. And. But if it goes below that, it will stop the subdivision from happening. So let's take a look. Yep, that does work. Very, very nice. So I can collapse this one and just have this in the frame, and it works very well. 0.025 for that. Now we can see it works. It works very fast, but it does work. So let's have that be 0.1. So now we can have some fun with this, with the instance version. So, wait, I'm instancing a cube on here for the visual side of it. But this could literally be anything, so I will demonstrate with the monkey, the classic monkey. I can just swap out the cube mesh with the monkey mesh. And it looks like I have to half the scale because the monkey is 2 meters by 2 meters. But now, we have this being made up of monkey meshes. It looks pretty cool. It works. I'm surprised it works as well as it does, but I will not complain about it. So, yeah. I should probably try to stress test this method. So, what would be a good way to try to stress test this? So let's try making these points too far away to do anything. Let's see if that breaks it. Oop. That works. Yep, that makes sense. It's not breaking it, it's doing exactly what it's programmed to do. So let's bring that down. And now let's do that. Let's see what happens then. Yep, that does exactly what it's supposed to as well, because the scale was too small for what it was supposed to be. So here, yep, it's very nice seeing that. So I can think of many cycles renders that can do interesting things with this effect. Alright. Anything else? It's very square though. I think that's intentional. Like those ones there don't subdivide more. No, wait, no, that is intentional, because if they subdivided more, that would be a big problem on my end. So there we have it. A very good method that works perfectly. I really like how fractal it looks, how fractally it looks. So let me delete the monkey head and just have the cube be here, a customizable cube. So let me plug this into there. So these will be visual instances. I have 2 visual instances. Very nice. But the cubes are... The default cube is 2 meters by 2 meters. I do not like that. I want the default cube to be 1 meter, just like every other program, because, you know, the default thing should be the size of the grid, not twice the size of what it should be. So here we can add in some nice shading, and since we have access to the size data, let's put this in. Let's get the attribute data, size, size. Here we go. Oh right, we need this to be on the instancer layer. So here we can see the size data, which works very well. I'm very happy with that. So you can color this however you want. Actually, let's input the object info. I want to see... Does the... okay, that freaks out. I was a little worried about that. That whenever it would subdivide, the random value would freak out. But I think there's a way to fix that, to make it consistent. Geometry node editor. I set the ID. Does that... would that work? I'm going to try to just set the ID to see if that'll make it not freak out. That sometimes fixes it. Shader editor. Let's go, whoops. Oh right, I need to go over to here. So, object info. If not, I could just make a attribute. Nope, that still freaks out. Okay. Yeah, I'll just make a random value to make it so that the new ones that spawn in don't freak out. Let me turn off viewport denoising because that is very annoying to watch. So yeah, let's go into the geometry node editor once again. Sorry if today's stream is a little scatterbrained. I wasn't exactly sure what to do, so I thought about resurrecting a project that I did a long time ago and updating it with my current knowledge, and turns out it works pretty well. Oh, wait a second. Oh, I know something that would work very well with this project. Having it so that it won't subdivide every single frame, but there will be a timer that says, oh, after 5 frames, subdivide. Oh, that is brilliant. Okay, let's implement that. So let's have a stored named attribute. This will just be for the age. And this will be, oh, every frame, have the age parameter and add 1 to it. Simple as that, just plug it in. Let's go and join that in a frame. So now I'll say, hey, if the age gets to be more than, whoops, let me copy that over, Control C, Control V. Why does it refuse to copy? There we go, now it does. So if the age is greater than 5, then allow for it to do the thingy using an AND node. So this means that it won't subdivide until, wait a second. Oh, I know what I need to do. So the age parameter gets inherited by this. So I need to basically reset the age whenever that happens simply by doing that. It'll set the age to 0 every time. There we go, lovely. It works, very nice. So now I'm also going to try making it so that this will be offset randomly for every single one. So let's make it from 4 to 6 frames. Oh, that looks beautiful. It's like rendering, almost. Let's make that from 5 to 10 frames, so. Ooh, I really like that. That's very nice. There we go. And actually, let me change this up so that we have 2 frames, just in case we want to put in more data to play around with. So here's that, and here's this. So this will be new data. So in one case, it inherits the old size data and then divides it by 2, basically halving it. But in the other case, it's resetting the age data. So yeah, it's doing a good job very well. So now, what do I want to do with this? One thing I do want to try is just making it so that the size only affects the X and Y axes, but not the Z. So let's see how that works. Again, looks very cool. But what if I made it so that this was inverted? So let's use a map range on the Z-axis at least. So in this case, it'll make it so that these ones are higher. According to, wait, do I set this to a power node to make it just more robust? Yeah, 0.5 seems to work just fine, even though it's not really necessary. So let me go back into the shader editor for the cube, and let's go and look at this normally. Wow. I think that's a result of the scaling, making it look super duper weird. But it does look cool. But let me go back in and just reset the size because, you know, it's not 100% necessary. So there's that. Oh right, the random value node. I need to fix that. So to do that, I need to think about it. So I'll just make it so that the new data... Let's see, do I set a random index node? Would that fix it? For all the new stuff that gets added. I need to think about that. Let's try just the random value to start out. So let's have a random stored attribute. This will be random for every time it gets subdivided. And I could make it so that this updates every single frame, the seed changes every single frame, so that no 2 subdivisions will be alike, so that we don't get a weird pattern going down. So let's take a look at the shader editor to see if that actually worked. I would be very happy if it did. So let's set this to random. Again, random. There we go. Here we have it. Yes, that does seem to work, with the exception of the starting instances, which means I just need to go and... what was it? Oh, right, I need to set a random value for the beginning instances, which just means I need to put that in there with the... Yeah, I'll have this as the original data. There we go. New data, and I need to label this original data. Original data. Or no, start data. Start data. There we go. So now these will have a random value. Let me switch this up. Yep, there we go. Okay, so it is a random value. And now we'll get a random color that's consistent and doesn't make everything freak out. I do want to try setting the ID to see if the random value... Let's have this be... Let's have this be a random integer. Between 1 and 100. I also want to have this over here. Just to see if the object info random node will work just fine. Let me have that be like 100,000. So shader editor for the cube again. Let's delete the monkey because that is unnecessary. So let's have this be the object info node. This will just mean that the indices are consistent. Oh, that does work. Oh, no it does not. Not fully. So, okay. So if the indices don't... If they start overlapping, it'll start changing some of them, which is not good. What would be a good way to make sure that that never happens? Oh wait, I know what to do. Instead of having it be random, let's make it mathematically guaranteed that it'll never happen. So I'll just have the index. I can play this very smartly. So if I hook this up into there, we should see that it will freak out. But what if I made it so that these were always more than the point count of this? So if we use the domain size, we can make it so that these indices will just be always guaranteed to be greater than whatever's input. And it works! I am a genius! Or wait a second, does that mean that I could just... Wait a second. Oh! Well, not entirely, actually. Because that still makes it freak out a little bit. Or does it? Yeah, no, it still makes it freak out. I thought if by making the top geometry the dominant one, if that makes sense, it would fix it, but apparently not. Let me try a couple of things. Just to see if it would work. Oh no, wait, that fixes it. Okay. So, just a little hidden thing that is not often shown, but it appears that the geometry socket that's on the top will be the dominant one. So if there's indice data, it won't overwrite what's on top, which I think is good. That's a good call. So now if I do that, we can get... Wait, why does that make it freak out now? What? Okay, but we still need to manually set the ID? That is interesting. But I'll do the version that takes the fewest amount of nodes possible. Rather than having the, the kind of hacky... It's not necessarily hacky, but, more nodes isn't necessarily better. Okay. So, store original data. So that's not technically super needed, but it'll be good for whatever we need in the future. Oh, I do want to try something, since we do have the random value. I want to see if I can blur the original random data with the new stuff. Let's try this. Let's mix the random data with the old random data, just to see what would happen. So as it's up, well, okay. Oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense because I'm not viewing the random data right now. Silly me. I was looking at the object info random, so let me, whoops. Why did I put that into a frame? Okay. Let me hide the unused sockets because my brain is not liking the extra information. So this will make it so that, yeah, it averages the old random and the new random, making a less, I don't know, harsh result, if that makes sense. So if I were to balance it more towards the old random data, there'll still be some variation appearing, but it won't be nearly as harsh. So here's it without. We get all that happening, which, leads to a lot of visual noise. But if I set it to like 0.9, we'll see that we just get some nice subtle variation. Nothing too complex, nothing too bad. So that could be the benefit of doing it this way. Yeah, so it's good that we have this data. We can manipulate it if we want, or we can just have it be special. Another thing that I should showcase is that if we move the cube up by like 0.5 on the z-axis, that happens because the scaling, it scales from the middle, so we can see kind of this effect happening. And let me change the original text. Instead of being just blend, let's have it be Blender. There we go. And now it still fits. That's good. Okay, so now let's play around with the shading and make it look as good as it can. I'm tempted to make this a cycles project, but we will see about that. Okay, so let's get the random value and put it into a color ramp. So here, oh, that does look quite nice. Let's make this like, oh, I do like the oranges. Let's make it orange, and what should the secondary color be? I do like that. Oranges and yellows, they work very well. Hue saturation value, let's take a look at that. Does look pretty nice. Now we can use the size data to desaturate that. So let's use a hue saturation value node. And then let's use a map range in this case. Map range to go and desaturate this as it gets smaller. Because right now that would happen, so let's invert that and then bring it all the way down so that we can see the lovely Blender logo. Let's change that to smooth step. It's looking a little not quite good enough. Maybe I'll make this, what if I made this like a canyon? That could be a good idea. 0.5. Oh, that could look good. It's all a matter of what you want to do with it. Yeah, that could be like water in a canyon. So let me set up the camera. Let's try to make this a proper, cycles render. So I'm envisioning something like that. But I want to add in some more cubes on either side just to give it some more padding. So let me go and, whoops. Shift D, copy these, move these out to the side. Wait a second. I'm going to merge by distance just in case I accidentally copy them where they shouldn't be. Oh wait, and these start off at 2 meters by 2 meters. Oh well. Oh. Okay, yeah, it looks like I'm messing up a fair bit. I apologize, everyone. I'm getting a little bit tired right now. We're streaming for 40 minutes, so it hasn't been that long. But there we have it. Better. But as we can see, it's now lagging because there are so many instances on screen. And this is the optimized version. So if you were to not optimize it, you would be in big trouble. So geometry node editor. So instead of an Eevee render, I want this to be a cycles render. Also, let's make the focal length to be a lot bigger, so that we get that kind of orthographic feel to it. So let's change this to cycles. Ew, gross. We do not want CPU. We want GPU. What the heck is going on? Looks like there may be an error in the system. Oh wait, is everything doubled up in here? That could be a reason. Ah, yes, there were doubled up vertices causing that error. So now we should see, very nice, it is working beautifully. Let's add in a sunlight. Let's move it over to something like that. That's what I'm feeling. Let me also move this over so that you guys can see what I'm making without it being super microscopic. So I'm thinking something along those lines. Let's raise the ambient light. I'm kind of liking that, but I want to add in a little more flare. So I want to multiply, vector math multiply, this by a random value. I think maybe only the z height, but let me try having all of these be random to see if it gives a little more flare. Ah, ooh, that could look very, very good. Let me put in a ground plane. Oh yes, that kind of gives the vibe of, oh, Blender is there, but you can barely see it. This is kind of like recursive, it is basically recursive subdivision. Just in a differently scaled way. Oh, wait a second. Okay, that would be a project for a different time, but I should try selective recursive subdivision. That would be a cool project. Actually, I could edit the mesh version to be the recursive subdivision one. And that would actually work extremely well. I might try that as like the post render project. So not right now, but maybe after we hit the 1 hour mark. So in like 15 minutes. So softer shadows. Kind of sunset. Ooh, I do like the sunset look. Gives a nice vibe to it. But what if we had multiple lights? Ooh, I like that kind of studio feel. But maybe this one will be extremely diffused. Well, that just makes it feel like a 2002 render. I don't know, let's hide the main sunlight. Let's switch this to like 25 degrees. I do like it, but it's detracting from the main draw of this. That's what I wanted originally, just a little bit of randomized height. So let me go into, where is this? Oh, that was the wrong sunlight. You need it to be like that. I want it to be kind of like that. I want, you know, some stuff to be a little bit different. A little bit bolder. So let's try making it a bit bolder. And I'll have to switch up a bit of the colorization and stuff. So let's get that going as well. So let's have the object info random, not the averaged random that I set up. And then let's have this be a lot more subtle. So kind of like that. I'm kind of feeling that. Let's tone down the roughness on that. So should I switch the bevel to hardened normals? That does kind of, okay, that does enhance what I'm going for. I can make the cubes more rounded while still having them feeling cubular. I'm liking that. I also want to try subsurface scattering, even though that can lead to horrendous immediate renders. Let's have this be optics and set that to none. So that gives a softer appearance. More sunlight. That does help. Even though it is kind of assaulting my eyes a little bit. So it's all a matter of, let's turn off the, where's the cube? Let's turn off the subsurface scattering. I'll leave that for kind of like the final little style part. Oh wait, there was a good shot right there. That's a good one. That's a good option. Then there's this one. I do like this, but it could be better. Oh, I should try making a hexagon variant. Oh, that's possible to make a hexagon version of this. And it wouldn't be too difficult. I just need to think a little bit more about it. So a hexagon can be subdivided into more hexagons, which could be subdivided into more hexagons. I think that would work. Let me try it. So, okay, little side tangent. But I should be able to, if I am correct, I can just swap out this grid with a mesh primitive circle. Where's mesh circle 6? That will, okay, and the radius needs to be 0.5. That does seem to work. It just needs to be accurate. So I'll try setting that to 1, and I need the output thing to be a hexagon as well. So let's do mesh primitives. Let's have this be a cylinder, a 6-sided cylinder, also known as a hexagon. So let's give that a go. The radius needs to be 0.5. And, okay, so a few little issues here. Let's set the, oh yeah, the radius here needs to be 0.5. I thought that was diameter. Okay. So I need to just change a few things to see if this will work out. It may work. So we can see the start of the hexagons doing their thing. But there is one problem, that these original ones are not in a hex grid. I should probably save this before I mess it up too much. And what the heck. So, let me think. Maybe I should start off with just one in the middle. Let's delete the rest and see if that works out. Actually, yeah, before I go too far, let me make this instance subdiv for instance subdivide. And I need to duplicate that node group just so that, you know, I can save the original. There we go. Okay, so we can see the hexagon version. It's kind of working, but it's just missing a few minor things. So, problem 1. The first subdivision is inaccurate. Okay, good to know. This needs to be halved. Let's try this out. Wait a second. No, that needs to be 0.5, but what does... Does that need to be a division of something else? But what do hexagons get? How do you subdivide a hexagon? I am forgetting how to properly subdivide a hexagon. I can try to figure that out by using a mesh circle. Let's set that to 6. So let's do that and then subdivide it. Okay, let's extrude, scale it down to 0. Merge vertices by distance. So I thought that would make this subdivision correct. But, okay, wait. No, that won't do it either. How do you make a hexagon of hexagons? Let's just try it out to see if I can figure out how to do it. So, there would be a hexagon here, hexagon up there. Ah, okay. No, there has to be a way to subdivide hexagons into more hexagons. Sorry for the side tangent, everyone, but I find this interesting, so I must try it before we get to the other cool stuff. So let's try stacking hexagons. So we have this. And then it'll lead to something like this. So I'm just going to very quickly tile this to see if we can find another hexagon pattern in there. Just to see. Okay, so here's the closest thing to a hexagon. But it's not a full-on hexagon. Are hexagons just non-subdividable? At least not in the way I think? If you split them up into triangles, that would work. Then... yeah, nope, it's, I see no true hexagon pattern in there. Like, that would make the edges be straight as well. Okay, that's unfortunate. So, unfortunately, no hexagonal tiling. Rest in peace. Let's go back to what we know works. There we go. So, let's swap that back out with the cube. So, right now, we're back at square 1. And let's set that back to 0 as well. Let's set the random value to not be averaged, just to clean up the node tree a bit. It was a bit unnecessary anyway, but good to know for future reference. So that's the age. Let's see. Randomize age requirement. There we go. Requirements. Nope, you can see I'm getting tired, folks. I apologize. So let's try that again. Okay, so that's working just fine. go and set this up how it was before. The vertice? Nope, the vertice is perfectly centered. Let's bring that over there. Then over there as well. Yeah, that should be fine. Nope, it is not fine because I need to offset this by 2 meters because that's the original size of the voxels. Reset that. There we go. So now if we look at this again, brilliant. And we have Blender on full display and it works quite well. Okay. So yes, I should try the recursive subdivision, but that's in the future. Okay. Okay. So the question now is... Now what was the question now? Oh right, how do we make this look good? Okay, so I need to... Let's rebase because I'm getting a bit too scatterbrained on this. So this is Sim Subdivision. And then text curves, yep, that's that. Then we have the cube instance here. And then we have the floor here. Floor. And let's put these in the A set collection. So set. There we go. And let's also move the camera in there. And let's delete that. So I'll have this be the green one because that's the sim stuff. There we go. And the set goes there. And I'll put that above everything else. And then there's the cube instance, not the misspelling. Okay, there we go. I guess I could put that in the set. Or no, it should be in sim stuff because it's part of that whole thing. Okay, let's just move that off to the side again. Okay. So that right there is an okay cycles render, but it could be a lot better. See, where's that other... Okay, that's going one way and one's going the other way. So let's delete that one. And take a look at making the light softer. I don't think that enhances it. I kind of like the sunlight look. Except, okay, maybe a little bit softer than that. Subsurface scattering would fix any of the weird inconsistencies. But also, let's go over to here and make the size more random again. Yeah, there we go. Now it looks a lot more, I don't know, I guess modular? I don't know. It just feels better in my brain. So let's go back over to here, and we have both these random values, but object info should be fine for there. Let's have the size be up here, just so that the lines are nice and straight. Let's move that over there, move this up. Okay. So now that we're rebased, how should I proceed with this? So one thing I want to do is, let's take the UV maps of the cubes. Hello? Uh-oh. I think we may have a crash situation on our hands. Oh no. Well, good thing I saved, question mark? Oh, okay. It was just a super bad lag spike. Let me save this as 3.6. Dynamic subdivision. Let's save that. Okay, nothing like a good lag spike to make you appreciate... Okay, here's another lag spike. So I think the denoiser is having a hard time with this. Or maybe geometry nodes, UV maps plus... That isn't good. Another lag spike. Okay. Let's set this to Eevee so that I don't have to deal with the denoiser. Okay, there we go. No issues here. Let me set it back to cycles and then turn off the denoiser. Okay. So that's just cycles plus instances equals giant lag spike. Maybe I should try reopening the file. That's an interesting bug. Did it just crash everything? Let me try bringing it back to... Oh dear, yep, it is. It is having a day today. That is interesting. I didn't think it would freak out like that. Okay, so UV... It just hates UV maps. But here's something you may not know. You can reference UV maps with the attribute thing. Oh no, it still just hates it. It absolutely hates it if you just try to sample the UV maps. That's odd. Maybe it's just because the geometry node's problem? Maybe there's so many instances that it just can't decide? Wow. That is terrible. I hate that. I am very surprised by that as well. Well, to not bore you all with cycles about to crash and keep all my precious data away from me, let me switch this to Eevee temporarily. Or actually, let's not even use UV maps. That was a dumb idea. Let's use the texture coordinate object node. Or no, better yet, let's use the geometry position input so that it'll be different for every single one of these. Let's go back into cycles. It's still having a very hard time with this. So if it keeps having a hard time, I may have to restart the file. I thought I would have it. I thought it would be fine. I'm going to assume that this is just... Okay. Did it just like reload the render kernels? Well, I'm going to restart the file anyway, just to be sure. Because I've never had this problem before. And it would be very upsetting. Maybe it's like a simulation node's problem. Like it's having trouble reading the data from there. We will see. Okay, let me save this. Reopen the file. And let me try one more time. Okay. Oh no, yeah, it hates the... Okay, it hates the amount of instances on screen. When it's low, it works just fine, but once it gets higher, it starts to lag out whenever something changes. That is a big shame. I am very unhappy about that. I don't know how I would fix it besides going into Eevee, which makes everything a lot easier on my life. So let's go, and I want to try using a Voronoi texture. Voronoi. And let's have this be just square, because I want a, you know, some randomized roughness for all of these. Let's take a look at that. How does that... Can I even see the end result of that? Not really. Oh wait, that's because I put in the distance. No, I want the color as the input. There we go. Now we can see a little bit of that happening, which I think would look good in low doses, just to kind of break up the scene. So let's try switching this to cycles again. Wait, how come it's fine now? Is it just not subdivided enough? Huh. Maybe I'll have to file that as a bug report. Because it's fine now, but when I look at this... Yeah, it just lags. That is very interesting. But if I do this, it should be fine? Let me just wait for it to recompile and just forget about all of its woes about we don't like this kind of data. But yeah, that is an interesting side effect. I think that's a problem with the viewer node. Let's try hooking that up just to an emission. How does that? Oh no, it hates that as well. Okay, so it just hates looking at the position data directly. But if you put it in like a Voronoi, that's an interesting bug. I'll have to, I may have to put a bug report out about that. But there we go. And also, maybe having this on the object scale would be fine, because I don't like how it doesn't accurately scale with everything else. Yeah, I like that. Then maybe let's add in a little bit of bump to the exchange. Let's see how that affects everything. I do like that. Maybe a bit more subtle. I do like it. Maybe let's try smooth F1. Okay, maybe not that intense. Yeah, that needs to be significantly less intense. But just a little bit of that happening. I do like that. Maybe, does the randomness enhance it? Doesn't really. If it's small enough, does it enhance it? I don't know, but I'm not very inclined to think so. Alright, let's also bump up the subsurface scattering again. That does help the feel of it, but I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep that because the denoiser is the only way that'll be feasible, but it's still a little iffy on whether or not it wants to help out fully. So let's set the saturation. 0. So I do want this to look like, oh, it's Blender. But I want it to be incorporated, not just this little highlight at the end. It would be a bit of a shame if that were the case. So that's the minimum size. So let's set this to 0.1. I'm not sure about that. Let's set this to 0.05. See if that helps. I think it does. Okay, so lighting is still a little bit of an issue, so let me go and play around with that. So this is just the scene. I do really like... Ooh, that's some good stuff right there. But do I want it to be that way? We're past an hour, so I will start to wrap this up. And then I'll do like some of the fancy, good lighting off stream. That's just too bright, in my opinion. That is the best so far, but I just feel like it should be better. Like, it being lighter like that is good. Wonder how it feels with an HDRI in the scene. Or maybe, no, I can try some style with this. So instead of that, let me put in a gobo. A little light blocker. And see how that affects everything. So let's just have a simple noise texture. Noise texture, not white noise. Noise texture. I did again. Noise texture. Let's have the input be the object texture coordinate, so that when I rescale the plane, it'll work just fine. In edit mode, I should specify. And let's use a greater than to make that affect the alpha. So let's take a look at that. So we can see that that's not looking here. Let me raise it up so that's above the camera view, as it should be. So, pray tell, where on earth is the shadow? Let me reduce that. Okay, there's the shadow. Good. So I want it like that, except not like that. I'm envisioning something like this. Something like, I don't know. I was just thinking gobo. I didn't really think further than that. Fancy lighting. Let's just try something like that. Turn up the detail. Oh yes, that feels quite good. And then maybe let's... Instant styling right there. Instant styling. Then I could do something like that, but I don't think... I like the lines better. So now I could do something like... Let's go and... Okay, let's make it that like 0.01. So that there's a little bit of feathering on it. Let's make another light, and then kind of crisscross it. Oh my gosh, that is not giving good vibes, I would say. It's making me feel anxious with how scattered the light is. Okay, so I'll keep the gobo as an option. Let's bring that into the set collection. But let me also... I want to hide the main sunlight and only play around with point lights to see if that can give a good effect. So let's bring this one, like right over here. Set it up to like 10,000. Okay. That could be good. Then we have one over there. That could help. And maybe a big one right up there. Potentially. I'm not quite feeling it just yet. So let me change this to an area light. Maybe that will give a better result for what I want. Let's make this a rectangle. Make it wider than it is tall. Rotate it by 90 degrees, negative axis. Ooh, I do like that. I like how soft that is. Let's bring this down to about here so that we can get... I do enjoy that significantly. That feels good. I like that. And then I could just add in more lights as I see fit. So here... Then I can change the lighting here. Let me turn off subsurface scattering on it because that is keeping me from seeing the full the detail. Subsurface scattering will add like the last bit of flare to it. For the time being, let's not complain about it. So I could have like a nice blue light to the side. Or it could be more on the red side. Whatever I want. Ooh, I do like the red. That could contribute greatly. Let me turn off that and turn up the... let's see, randomness down. Oh, wait, why is that so small? So I do like the kind of voxely feeling that this has. Okay, so that does show up. Especially on the smaller ones, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of. So maybe I'll keep it low like that. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe just the roughness. Are there duplicates again? Oh no, that's just because there was a divide by 0 error, I feel. Then I can offset the pattern per 1. Let's not worry about that too much at the moment. This is supposed to be all about lighting. How it affects the scene. So I do like this. The kind of... ooh, I do like that. How you can see the light showing up there. That might be... people might be like, oh, wait, you just forgot to make the clipping correct. Maybe that could give like a cool holographic feel. Oh, where is... that is one reason why I kind of don't like working in cycles, because the little bit of lag just drags you down. So, I do like the low lights like that. So let me try just adding in more and seeing how that feels. Ooh, oh, I do like that. Just Blender surrounded by kind of dark. Oh, yes, that is a vibe right there. A vibe that I shall try to capitalize on. Maybe by turning down the lights a little bit. So let's hide both of those and see how just this one looks. So yeah, the light too bright in the center. Let's bring it down by a bit. And let's bring it back up to be more like that. Not bad. Okay. So I think this is a good spot for it. Even though we can see that the denoising is having a whale of a time over there. Let me do a official, in quotes, render. Let's set that to 10 seconds. Yes, a 10-second render. F12, let's give it a go. Oh, and all the other lights are not hidden anymore. Even though that does look good. Just a bit bright for my taste. Okay, let's go and hide everything that's not visible in the scene, in the render, including you. Or actually, that's already hidden. So hide you, hide you, hide you. Wait, no, not you. Here we go. What is this plane? Oh, that's the gobo. So I just want this kind of feeling right there. Okay, let's turn up the subsurface scattering by a little bit. Hopefully the denoiser can handle it. Let's pray that it does. Let me turn up that, and maybe turn off hard and normals. That might give a softer feeling to all this. And let's set that to 10. There we go. Now let's send this in for a render. This could be good. I like the feeling that it gives. Let's see, let's see. Okay. I like it. Could it be better? Yes. Is it too bright in the center? Yes. But I do like the general feeling that's being presented with it. So I should develop this. So how should I do that? Could make the lights lower. Another interesting feeling right there. Let's have one right there. And whoa, what did I do? Oh, I accidentally hit everything else. So let's have that be 180. So it looks like there's kind of like a bar light right there. That could be good. So it also helps that I'm using the Blender default font. It's kind of funny, but it does work in this scenario. Maybe some ground lighting like this. No, that looks awful. Let's give that one a go, just to see. Why is it invisible? What did I accidentally unhide? Yeah, no, everything seems to be visible. That should be visible. Now, oh, wait, that's because of the simulation stuff, isn't it? Yep, okay. I keep forgetting that this is a simulation node setup. It's not... Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. So that's how it would actually look in the render. I was looking at the wrong preview. Huh. That's just a little bit unfortunate. So I would have to, like, save this for it to work properly. Okay. How would I save this? I do not remember. Okay, let's have the denoiser is having a whale of a time. Okay, let's try rendering it. Okay, now that's fine, as long as I do not move the keyframe. Now we can see everything pretty much perfectly. Even though the albedo and normal are being used in the denoiser, which that shouldn't be happening, because it doesn't like the subsurface scattering. But that does give a very nice and cozy feel. So I may try elaborating on that. So let me try having both of these lights share the same data, just to have different rotations and orientations. Let's have it be like that and make it really close up to there. I want to get that cozy vibe. Maybe that's the way. And I could just do it. Well, no, that completely betrays what I'm trying to do with this. So let's take a look again. So that's one of the vibes, which I do like. But I think we may lose that by that, yeah. by that being so close. That could give another cozy vibe. I'm not entirely sure. As you can see, I'm enjoying the lighting development a lot more than just the geometry nodes development. So I should let this cook for a bit longer. Let me try rendering this without the albedo and normal. 12. We're almost at an hour and 30 minutes. Or no, we're at an hour and 20 minutes. So let's just let the render cook. So does it look better without the albedo and normal being put into the denoiser? Seems pretty much the same to me. This just needs more samples. That's the only solution that I can see. Okay. Maybe this low light scenario isn't the best. Let me try other methods. So let me go and delete that one and have this. Reset the orientation. Bring it up. Bring it over. Bring it up. Ah, yes. Perfection right there. Not great. Also, let me turn off subsurface scattering because that is terrible for everything I'm trying to do with this. With the denoising. Subsurface scattering is really good, don't get me wrong, it's just very hard to get right. With the denoiser. Though I do really... Oh, I like that feeling. Just the harsh cutoff right there. Should I turn off the denoiser? Is that... Oh, wait. That's better. Just having the automatic one that speeds up everything by a lot. That gives a really fake and artificial feel, but I actually really like it. Different colors. That is interesting. Ooh, that could be really cool for other types of renders. Like if you had an Xbox One, having it like glowing green and stuff. Okay. I do like how physical that feels. It feels very tactile. Let me bring this over to here. That doesn't really enhance it at all. Oh, and it's so bright. It's hurting my eyes a bit. So let me delete that. Maybe a spotlight? But this is essentially doing what a spotlight would do, just a bit better. So I keep going back to this kind of... Oh, but that looks good. I just lower it by even more. This isn't possible in real life because the light is only facing one way and it's invisible. But it feels right. And there's that method, which is not great. Let me try a spotlight. Let's see how that feels. Ooh, no, that could give a very good look. Let me try that. So we have one spotlight over here to make it more like an art exhibit. So we have something like that. One over here, and then maybe another one over here. But maybe this one will be closer and more blended. Blended blender, haha. Maybe narrower? I do like that feeling as well. Gives a, I don't know. And that is way too powerful for its own good. Huh? Nuh-uh. This one just needs a little bit more power. Yeah, what is the power? Oh no, they have the same power. Blend down. Okay, the blending up or down gives it the impression of being more powerful or less powerful. So there's Blender. So yeah, the different vibes. That one is a really good vibe though. Oof, I need to, yeah. I need to try rendering that one out with more samples. But let's try this one, just to see how it feels. And then I can try putting like little imperfections in these cubes. How does that feel? Could be a lot better. Oh wait, the subsurface scattering is not currently on. So that could be a reason of it not feeling quite as good as it could be. Let's set it to 2.1. Do another render. I don't know, what do you guys think? If you want to comment, of course. What do you feel like this needs? Or does it need me to just stop working on it for the time being, come back tomorrow and finish it? Because that's what my brain is currently telling me. I do like the spotlight feel. That could work. But I also really like... Well, that one works okay. Oh, and I over-rendered the other one. I don't know, lots of... I do like that. And I could just have two. There, one not enough, just copy it, move it over. Then bring that down. Not bad. Not bad. Now for this, it does bug me a bit how some of these are just pure yellow, while the ones underneath them are pure white. There's not a lot of transition happening right there. So maybe I would need to randomize geometry. No, shader editor. What am I talking about? So I'll just like mix the size according to the random value. Not a lot, but just enough to... That's pretty bad. Yikes. I meant just a little bit, not a lot. Oh, it affects the smaller ones more than the larger ones. That does make sense, but it's not any less annoying. It's unfortunate. Actually, if I... Wait a second, do I need a square root? Does that make this a lot more even? Uh-oh. Another lag spike. Okay. Is that the denoiser's doing? Let's switch this to Eevee before I lose my mind. My very tired mind. I like the ominous aura the dark cubes give on the area light render. I do like, well, I wouldn't say ominous. In my opinion, it feels cozy. But maybe, maybe from all of my weird creature designs that I've made and walking machinery, my gauge on what is ominous is a little offset. So, please tell me why this is frozen. Yeah, we're almost at 1 hour and 30 minutes. I should just come back to this tomorrow. Come on. Oh, nope, it is gone. Oh, there we go. Let me restart Blender and take a look at the output. There we go. We're back in business. Oh, dang it. Okay, we need to recover that autosave. Uh-oh. Okay, file, recover, autosave. Please, for the love of the creator. And, oh, it did save, wonderful. Okay, let's bring that back. And, okay, so those lights, they could work, but I'm not quite feeling it. Let's bring back, nope, not that one. That one, very nice. Okay. So what was I doing? Oh, right, it was the square root problem with that. Even though that does seem to be fine for now. Let me try that, except, you know, not hook up any of those correctly. Square root. Yeah, Blender just doesn't like when that many instances are on screen and you try compiling the shader, or I don't know how ray tracers do it, but making that as just the output. It only likes it when you have it connected to everything else. It's very, very odd, and I'm not going to pretend to understand it. Ah, but no, having the square root does fix the size problem because it goes from like 0.1 to 0.2 to 0.4 to 0.8 to 0.16 to 0.32 to 0.64 and so on. That makes it a lot more even, so it's better. A lot more eased, not quite as harsh. Let's set that to 0.1. So there we go. This does need, so in my opinion, it still needs a little bit of that roughness happening. So let's, yeah, have that as the object input and plug that into the roughness. Can we see the results of that? Yes, we can. Now I just need to, it'll be very subtle until the actual render comes through. So let me just set up these settings that I know work, just to offset it randomly for every single one in the scene. Let's do that. And this will be the last render of the day. Let me save this and let's let it cook for 30 seconds. And then it will denoise and it will be perfect. And maybe this would be a very good idea for my my live stream icon. Maybe that would be really good. Well, we will see. I do want to try, because I kind of failed this time around, making the, what was it? Oh, right, the hexagon tiling. I could try triangle tiling, but hexagonal tiling does seem to be where it's at. I just need to, yeah, how do you? No, wait. No, there isn't really a way to subdivide hexagons in the way that I'm thinking. Yeah, no, not properly where each cell is subdivided the way I want. Okay. So, yep, there's that. It looks good, but it could be better. Like, how the cutoff being that harsh over there, I'm not the biggest fan of. Some chromatic aberration could be good. Let's add in a little bit of, you know, color correction. Which I usually... Ooh, wait. Ooh, the more blue feels better. I usually like doing all my color correction in camera. Because, you know, just adjust the lights in scene. But in this case, yeah, I think a little bit will help with that. Okay. So I may want to change the roughness even further, maybe to give it these cubes a bit more of a tactile feel. Let me go and collapse that and that. So this was a good project. I got a bit caught up in the rendering. which, don't get me wrong, I will be rendering more and more and more to make sure that this is as good as it can be. But this is currently a battle between that version and let's do a 30-second render of... Where's the sunlight? You are not the sunlight. So let me just eliminate you because you are... That could look good as well. That is a look. Let me just... Like, it is a little bit of a bummer that the lights are just there and they're not, like, physically supported by the scene. Ooh, but wait, what if those were spotlights instead? Okay, another render. We're gonna be rendering all night, folks. So, strap in, get your coffee, and just relax and enjoy the show. Let's just let it cook for a little bit longer. That could be good, but I'm still not quite feeling it. Could be better. And also, I could try making the cube a bit oblong. Like, let's throw in a subdivision surface and lower the amount here so that the cubes are just, you know, a little bit rounded. That'll give a more cozy feel. Oh, what if I made these all pillows? What if I made these just subdivided pillows? That could be very fun. I would need to, you know, make the textures correct and everything else, but that could be a really good idea. So let me delete that light and that light. Let's bring out... Wait, where's the sun? There's the sun. Nice to see you again. Something's off. Something has changed. I hope my graphics card isn't dying from Cycle's shenanigans. Oh, right, that's because... Background. There we go. There's the background I was thinking. So that's one of them. One of the possibilities. But is it what I want? Also, that needs to be softer. I cannot get over how much you sound like Hank Green. I have never thought about that. I'll have to listen to his voice again. It's been a little while since I've heard it. But maybe it's the cadence. I have watched quite a few of his videos. So maybe I have acquired a bit of that, but interesting. Thank you for telling me that, because I've never gotten that before, but that is very interesting. I guess that's a good sign. Yeah, that is a very good sign. Ooh, I also need to make the floor black, because... Yeah, I want that part to just be void. Even though... Let's displace it just to make these pillows, in quotes. I'm gonna have to make these pillows because that's too good to pass up. Well, that makes it feel a little cellular with all of them colliding. The more you muse, the more you sound like him. Okay, so I definitely have the cadence. That's good. That's good. That must mean that it's entertaining, which means that I'm doing my job correctly. So yes, this is the kind of sugar cube / cellular version of this effect. So let's go and... With real, you make awesome stuff. Oh, why thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Why do I like the monochrome version a lot better than the one with color. What is this? Huh? Sorry, I'm just genuinely very confused why this version feels a lot better than the one with all the colors. Even though that doesn't feel quite as good. The darkness does not help all too much. But maybe, what if I tried white into a kind of blue color? To make it feel more like, that looks amazing. That looks incredible. I love that. Okay, that's another one for the for the testing side. Okay. Let's go back to the... Yeah, so this is how all my testing files look. They have a lot of just generic stuff in the... Not generic, but, you know, lots of testing stuff in the background. While I'm frantically being like, oh, will this work? Will that work? Let's try this out. Let's bring this over to here. Okay, let's use a magic texture. That gives good fabric-like results easily. That's what I'm going for. Okay. So I need to scale that up a lot, and then let's bring this up. So, okay. So I will need the UV map for these, but hopefully that will not lag out Blender. Okay, no, it doesn't. That's good. So yes, and then also the UV maps are kind of having a hard time, but I can just kind of redo those later. More detail? Is that necessary? No, it is not. So something like that. So that gives kind of a fabric event. Oh, the white version looks like the... Oh, that one gum ad. Yeah. I kind of get that. I like the kind of soft cloud feel that it gives. So this is much more of a pillow feel, but I need to incorporate noise into this to make it feel even better. I do like it. Lots of cool opportunities that are available just by, you know, doing more testing. Okay, that... I like everything but the color scheme that I was originally going for. That's a little bit of a problem, but we'll leave that for later. That was not a good idea, so let me just sidestep that. So let's mix this with noise so that we can get, you know, some medium frequency detail. Or, no, micro frequency detail mixed in with the medium. Okay, let's set that to there, then scale this so that it feels right. So we get a little bit of that happening. Let's set that to 12. Then we can mix it in with the fabric. There we go. Oh, that is... Yeah, you guys might not be able to see that on camera, but here's it normally. And then that's it with a bit more... Okay, that's giving more of a fabric feel, even though I need to push the roughness even more. Oh wait, no, that's disappearing over there. That's not good. Let me turn up the roughness of that even more. Oh, I think that may be a result of the denoiser, but the tactile feel of it kind of gets dissipated. Another thing I want to try, I want to put in the Fresnel node into the specular. I'll give, oh, that, okay, let me try the input layer weight node into the specular facing. Oh, dang it. I did something wrong. Let's switch that to Eevee. Watching these color changes in real time is the best. Yeah, it is. So, for some reason, because I have so many instances on screen, so many cubes, this is probably like 250,000 or higher, Cycles absolutely despises it. whenever I put in one of the inputs and view them with the viewer node, or just plugging them in by default. So we may be running into a crash scenario, where I may be losing some data and some time. So I'm just going to let this cook for a bit. And if I need to go back to... Nope, I need to go back to an autosave. Alright, let's hope I did not lose too much data. So file, recover, autosave. Let's try this. And let's let it re-simulate the subdivision. Oh, that is such a satisfying animation. I love it. Okay, what did we lose? Okay, we lost the noise, but that's fine. So let me try implementing the input layer weight into the specular. That gives them it a bit of a sheen, but I also need to plug in the bump into there to make it even better. So, and I should probably use a map range. Let's just add a bit to it. So that, there we go, it's like that. Okay. We didn't lose too much. We lost a little bit, but I've had worse. Okay, so since I learned my lesson... So step 1, don't switch to Eevee while that happens, or it will definitely crash. Oh, let me full screen for you all. Sorry. Let's mix this to 0.8. That's the setting that we know works. Set that to 2D. Scale this down. Set this to like 12, set that to like 0.8. Okay. Now we're basically back to where we were, I think. Does that give enough of a... Does it give enough of the feeling I was going for? Maybe this needs to be less? Because I'm going for the mix. Where if you don't zoom in too much, it looks like fabric. I'm going for the fabric feel, not necessarily, oh, that's fabric kind of deal. You're going for the vibe, as I've been saying quite a bit today. You want the vibe of that texture, not necessarily it being that texture. Okay. Is the vibe enough? I'm not sure. I think I may need to make a bit of a seam on this. So fortunately for us, if I just throw on a... Oh, wait. Wait a second. If I put in a wireframe modifier... Where's the wireframe? That's going to... That could be a look in and of itself, but I wanted it to just be... Step boundary, let's not replace the original. I wanted it to just be a seam at the end point here. Unfortunately, I kind of forgot how to do that. I need to think about that. I could do that with geometry nodes to make it procedural, but I'm not sure. At this point, like, I should be toning down for the night. We're almost at 2 hours. So maybe... Here, let me just go delete faces. Or, okay. Let's make another version that keeps all the procedural stuff. Let's apply all of that. Let's select only these parts right here. Let's move it over. Oops, sorry everyone for the camera being so horrible. And let's also select all of those. So I want that to be separated, and I want to wireframe only this section. Let me apply or assign that. Let's have the wireframe. Can I set the selection? Okay, yes, I can. Very good. I'm sorry? Oh, wait, does that need to... That is unfortunate. Ah, so a series of unfortunate events here. So, number 1, I did not select all the things here. And number 2, all of these have to have faces in between them with no edges in between. It's possible, but again, annoying that I missed out on that. So that that, and that. There we go. So let's copy this. Now, does that work? Oh wait, and also, lest I forget. Okay, does that work? Do we now have... We have a very messed up wireframe on our hands, so let me try to recalculate the normals. Oh my gosh. Even? And also, let's have it not replace the original. You know what? Maybe I should just separate this into different geometry and everything would be a lot simpler. But since I am so incredibly stubborn with this... Uh-huh. What am I... Maybe I should just... Okay, let's have geometry nodes do this, because that geometry nodes is better at this than, you know, the wireframe node. Okay, let's select this, bring it down. Okay, let's go into geometry nodes. Geometry node editor. So step 1, we need to separate. Sorry folks, more geometry node stuff. I'm in too deep. I cannot escape at the moment. Group, let's just separate that part. Good. So mesh to curve. And curve to mesh. There we go. Let's make this a circle. Again, I could have just done this with 2 objects, but I'm feeling lazy, but in the sense of, oh, let me do this the much harder way lazy, rather than... Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm getting too tired to make sensible decisions, but the results speak for themselves. Kind of. I mean, that kind of feels like... Not necessarily a pillow, but you get the point. Yeah, that's why, like, how non-destructive this is. Like, I could just swap it out, and it just works beautifully. It does look like we're getting a few little errors down there, but I think that's because the bump doesn't scale quite right. But that could be... That feels like a project all in and of itself. So let me go back into the shader editor and edit the pillow noise distribution, because it still seems to be a little bit off, in my opinion. So we go to that. Too much, too little. Bump, too little, possibly too much. Let me try rendering this version to see if those errors down there persist. No, they do not. Okay, those were just kind of viewport problems. Let's take a look. It looks good. It looks good. Gives the vibe of that being cloth without it actually being cloth. Subsurface scattering is still non-existent, but yeah, that should exist for stuff like this. And since I applied all of that, that's quite annoying. That's why I like the fully procedural route. And actually, come to think of it... No, never mind. Let's smooth this before that. Okay, just to... Ah, dang it. Why are those appear? Oh wait, that's a viewport thing. That's not a cycles render problem. Okay. That's good to know. Okay, so with this, let's also turn back on the subsurface scattering. This could... Whoops, what was that? Could be disastrous, but let's give that a go. So what I'm worried about is that the subsurface scattering will get rid of the feeling that there's the bump there. But also, since the denoiser absolutely despises it, well, let's just give it a go and see what happens. Okay, so we can see that the render is already looking pretty poor, but that's because it needs it takes a lot more time to resolve subsurface scattering than anything else. But cloth should have a little bit of it. A little bit, not too much. Let's let it cook. 97, and we're almost at 2 hours. I'm gonna have to, you know, stop streaming at 2 hours because this is getting to be a bit bad. With I need to actually go to sleep soon. Okay, so lesson learned. Subsurface scattering doesn't help more than it hurts for this pillow setup. Actually, I want to see. Now, why are the outlines appearing there? Why is... Okay, so if I hide it, it looks better. So there's that. I do really like that version of it. That also feels... Okay. So that one is the best. And I could have this be any text. I feel like putting in like dreams and then it would just feel perfect. But maybe not with the borders on there. You can be the new Arendelle 12-hour stream. The longest stream I have ever done was 4 hours, and it took all my energy out for the entire day. I cannot do that. I applaud Arendelle for doing that, but I cannot. That's an amount of strength that I cannot fathom to have. Let me also tone this down. Okay, so that just being like that just gives that pattern. Not the biggest fan. That pattern. I am a fan. Why does the mixing seem so different between that one and that one? It's probably nothing to worry about. Let me change that to no detail, and let's just scale it up a lot. And now change the mix factor back down. Yeah, no, that was a bad idea. That gives a much softer appearance. Yeah, okay, so the pillow maybe wasn't the best idea. But it was a good test. Let's go back in the geometry node editor. Okay, yep, we're almost at 2 hours. Let me go and switch to here. The thing is, for the main effect of this, like I've been spending an hour on the rendering side. So I could just delete that, but maybe I'll keep it around for the time being. So this is one of the good ones. Let me render it. It gives a very nice soft feel to it. Maybe I would, yeah, I should probably take out the specular highlights on it. Just so that it feels more like a cloud. Or like a marshmallow. Either one. Because it being glossy, like those highlights there, not really feeling it. Want it to feel wispy. And just like, no cares in the world. Yeah, okay, so let's try a couple things. So one, I want to make these a bit more... Yeah, a bit more cloud-like. Turn up the roughness to be 100%. And now let's do another render. I'll keep that in there for the time being. Alright. There we have it. Need to make sure my microphone isn't about to fall. There we go. Let's zoom in. It's nice seeing the noise. Okay. It does feel a bit better. So let's compare. So there's that one. Whoops. That one, that one, that one, that one. Does it feel overcrowded? It might. Like, I don't like how those dark spots appear. So maybe... Here, let me try something to fill that part out. So let me do... Oh, wait, that might have been a bad idea. Putting a cut in there. Yeah, no, something's not right about that. So that gets rid of that, but it's feeling very overcrowded. I just want it scaled up enough so that those corners disappear. And then I also need to make it so that it still feels... let's set that to 1. I still want it to feel rounded. So let me put in a smooth. After... Whoops, sorry everyone. Huh. Well, now we're back to square one again. So, yeah, let me... I just want to smooth the top parts, I think. Because, let me look back at the renders. So that's very rounded. Yeah, okay, so... Okay. So how do I... Yeah, maybe just scale that in by a bit. I do not believe that is the way. But maybe it is, we'll see. Well, it might be the way. What about plane underneath? There is. It's just a black void. You shouldn't be able to see the plane underneath. So, let me go and do. Wait, oh, dang it. Let me replay the simulation. There we go. One of my biggest fears with this is to lose the feeling that I got originally. Oh, dang it. What is going... Oh, there we go. Well, that could be a cool effect. You know, not for this one, but a different one. That makes... That feels like crystals. I don't know why. Hard and normals. RZ, 45 degrees. So the displace, turn that off. So we just have a little bit of that happening. So, you know, this is a little deformed at the bottom. Maybe I should, yeah, let's do the second subdivision. Make it better. Let's also... Do I bring that down? Does that help it or does that hurt it? No, that helps the general vibe. So also I should mention, because this is, you know, a simulation, let me go and replace the text here with something different, just to show you. So let's have this be, dreams. And let's re-simulate. Do. So it could be like that. Which I do like. I mean, this type of subdivision doesn't exactly lend itself too well to the kind of soft feel but it could work. It could. Like, that's very rounded. So maybe, what if I... Oh, right, I can change the font as well. So let me copy this and have one for the Blender version. Let's look at another font. Which font would be good? Oh my gosh, there's a lot of fonts. What feels the most dreamy? Wait, where are all these fonts coming from? I don't remember having this many. You guys probably can't see it at the moment. Well, let me just try to... Comic Sans. No, I'm not that evil. Not that evil. Let's try Forte regular. Yeah, no, I think Blender was the best for that. For the setup here. Because the cubes don't really lend itself too well to the kind of soft pillowy feel, but for the Blender one, it... Oh, wait. Oh, wait, 1 second. And we are past 2 hours already by 5 minutes. So I am cursed to see the spaghetti note abomination. Ah, well, with this one, it's not too bad. Here, let me show you. Not horrible. I mean, I did give it all the bells and whistles, but it's not the worst. Started off simple. But then, you know, all that happened. But yeah, just check back in the stream if you want to see how I made it. Okay, let me do another render. Wait, is that the other render? No, it's not. Okay. Okay, after this is done, I will end the stream now. Because I've delayed this by too much, but it's a fun project. I do want to set up the one with the correct Blender colors and all that. But for the time being, this isn't bad. It's good. Yeah, it's past 11. I have been doing this for too long. Yeah, that feels kind of good. Like that one, it's kind of meh. But that one, I don't know. Some people would like that as a desktop background. Oh wait, but I should also try... Sorry folks, I lied. Okay, let's flip that around again. I want to try red. How does red feel? Ooh, that's good. That's frighteningly good. Glossy red or diffuse red? And having it like that at the bottom so that we can still clearly see Blender logo. Blender. It is a bit... Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's pretty good. And I do believe that's because of the color correction. Yeah, it just adds a little bit more to it. But man, that looks good. Let's try on the lower side. It doesn't quite have the oomph that I'm looking for. But that's a look in and of itself. Wait, I've been working all this time with the colors being darker than they should be? Okay, so only those colors. Interesting. So yeah, the roughness should be down for that version. Ooh, that looks so incredibly crisp. I have to render that out. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream while that is rendering. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.